Hi, this is Alkan. Welcome back to my channel. Well, we have an interesting story from the from across the pond. Apparently, Prime Minister Keir Starmer's past is coming to bite him in the rear end, and he keeps calling it rubbish. But I'm sure his victims, these gangs, are not saying it's rubbish. It's a fact that he doesn't want to acknowledge or spend taxpayers' money to investigate. Um, this is from Breitbart News, and it's very damning. So Starmer blasts far-right calls for inquiry into grooming gangs failure, complaining about misinformation on X. So British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer, I didn't know he was a sir, criticized Elon Musk and others for jumping on the bandwagon for the far right for raising criticisms over grooming gangs, doing the R to children scandal, and demanding fresh national investigations. Like I said, I don't think the victims are calling this rubbish. So he's full of rubbish. In his first major comments since the international scrutiny was raised over failure to protect thousands of mostly young women from sexual predators, and I can't say the nationality or the religions because I don't know what they will do if YouTube sees this. So Prime Minister Starmer once again shut down the idea of a national public inquiry is necessary. The government has claimed that previous localized reports are sufficient and that rather than examining the failure of local police, politicians, or other officials, the focus should be on implementing changes called by the previous report. However, Prime Minister Starmer has personally came under scrutiny, and some suggested he may have been complicit in the failures during his tenure as the nation's top prosecutor between 2008 and 2013. Starmer rejects that he is seeking to obstruct his history from the public, saying that the Telegraph, my record's open. There is nothing secret about being director of public prosecution. Every single case I prosecuted went to the court and looked at by a judge. It doesn't mean anything. Judge could look at it and says, "Oh, there's nothing to see her. Carry on. Tut tut. Cheerio. Let's hit the pub." Doesn't mean anything. This isn't about whether I defend myself or my record, frankly. That record is there. You can see it. You can make up your own mind. Yeah, try to express that. I've seen what your handiwork and how you sending people to jail over there, and then you want to do it to Americans here. No. We need the UK needs their own Boston Tea Party against Kenneth Starmer. Appearing on X, appearing to address ex-owner Elon Musk, who has placed a heavy focus on the grooming gang scandal over the past week, Starmer said that these are spreading lies and misinformation as far as wide as possible. They are not interested in the victims, they're interested in themselves. Well, the victims are making us think about this too. It's not just Elon Musk and the far right. I'm a Democrat. And I'm also voicing my opinion that this is absolute ludicrous that you're allowing this to happen. And I enjoy the cut and thrust of politics, the robust debate that we must have, but it has got to be based on facts and truth, not on lies, not on those who are desperately for attention that they are prepared to debate themselves and their country. Starmer went to criticize unnamed politicians in Britain, called for inquiry because they want to jump on the bandwagon of the far right, which he warned is threatening the nature of politics in the country. Your country is being overrun by illegal migrants, and they have some of them have tendency to violence, and we have seen this violence not only in the UK but across Europe. Especially an incident back in December at a market in Germany. So this is not something that's made up, dude. There have been growing calls for a national public inquiry into the failure to protect young women in Britain, which has previously been revealed that officials ignore accusations of child sexual abuse, committed by certain gangs out of concern for appearing racism. So, if you can't handle the job, let somebody else do it. And who cares about racism? Both Reform UK leader Nigel Farage, who has raised the issue over a decade, and recently installed leader of the Tories, Kemi Badenoch, has called for a national inquiry into the scandal. Responding to Starmer's comments on Monday morning, Reform MP Rupert Lowe said there is nothing far right about wanting justice for thousands of British girls who were abused and harmed by many gangs from a certain region. Not a far right bandwagon, as Starmer says. We must move past these slurs, focus on the girls, and the brutal justice for those responsible. For his part, Mr. Marks claimed Starmer was deeply complicit in the mass arrests in exchange for votes. That's what the inquiry will show. And that's about it for now. But the fact is, yes, there is a brewing scandal, just like in the U.S. when you had illegal migrants coming here and causing crime, which originated saying there is no such thing as migrant crime. Well, we had the young lady in Georgia who was killed by a migrant. Then another one also in Georgia, and you had several cases. You had a migrant burn a woman to death on a subway line in Brooklyn. Yes, there is migrant crime. And then, of course, don't forget the Tren de Agua and the MS-13s and all these other wonderful gangs that are in the United States because of Joe Biden. But my focus here is not to go after the gangs. It's to go after the imbeciles that are allowing this to happen. The Joe Bidens and the Keir Starmers of the world. They're one and the same. Dumb, stupid, ignorant, and past their prime time. There's nothing right wing about somebody getting hard by someone who shouldn't be in the country in the first place, who was invented, or whatever the situation is, but they don't want to deal with it. They're concerned about the votes. They don't concern about the victims at all. I mean, case in point, look what happened in that lady on the subway who was burned to death. I don't see Al Sharpton putting up any money to help bury this woman who was killed by an illegal migrant. I hadn't heard from him. We hadn't seen nothing in it. Oh, but he was in a hurry to do it for Jordan Neely. So, you got lip service and nothing else to show for it. So yes, you should go and follow Elon Musk and all these people making the stink of what's rotting the UK right now. Even Elon Musk said one of these judges need to be removed. And it looks like he got a bad wig from Party City as a closeout sale. Are you stunned? Nope. You're supposed to stand. So? I'm ordering you to stand. I ain't standing. I'm standing down. And if you try to force me to stand, you're going to have a problem. Since now you clowns carry guns. Boom! No. I'm not stepping a foot in the UK. Forget it. I mean, I would love to ride the London Underground, but with the current nonsense that's going on across the pond, a lot of rubbish from these politicians that need to be removed from office and sent either to a nut house or jail. They're not caring about the population. They're only caring about themselves. So this is Al Kane saying so long for now. Don't forget to stop. Whew.